Alrighty, well, I'm playing with the new camera. I'm still learning. I'm bad with the whole video production thing. But I just got a new sheath from Deepwood Handcraft, and I couldn't find a way to justify waiting much longer to at least get the thing on film and up on YouTube. So this is it. It's for my Cold Steel Trailhawk, and what you find here is that it has the option of being able to store the Trailhawk without or with the actual handle. So here's the Trailhawk blade, rather small. It has less than 3 inches of blade length, so legal for most countries. So when you're doing international travel and you need to do bushcraft, this is an important thing. The way that the handle goes on, like so, it has the type of head where the eye is tapered, so that you can use a tapered handle to go on here. And this is important because in the woods, what you can do is you can dispense with this and not carry it with you, and bring this by itself and be able to make a new handle with just the blade. You can take this and run it up and down a stick to get the bark and whatnot off of it, and do your finished carving with this in order to make a new handle for the tomahawk. Now the problem has been is that until now what you would have is sheaths that were meant for only with the handle, and it had just a loop that you would slide the hawk through and it would hang by its loop off your belt hook. And there are a ton of those out there. When you look for sheath, there's just a loop that holds it like so off your belt. But the problem is that better than half the weight of this is the handle itself, and many times it's unnecessary. Now, tomahawk is an awesome thing, not only as an axe, throwing weapon, so on and so forth, but it has a few other options as well. You can put it halfway down the handle and use it as a draw knife for skinning logs and getting the bark off and prepare them for your log, your hogan or hut or log cabin. By itself, it works as a small cleaver, as well as like an ulu, which is the kind of the idea of the Alaskan type thing. It's pretty easy to use this as a kitchen chopping tool, and this blade gets razor sharp to the point where you can actually, I can slice a rice paper with this one right now. So anyway, Deepwood Handcraft came up with some ideas. We've been kind of working together, talking back and forth over Facebook and whatnot. But in his version here, there's a carrier here that holds and supports the entire weight of the blade. And when you take the handle out, it holds it still snugly with a flap that comes over with nice antler fixings. He does this all rugged, really rugged. So there's antler buttons and whatnot here that you can use to snug up and hold the flap tight, and that's not coming out of there. You can hang upside down, it doesn't make a difference. This one's stay here to stay. So he uses a lot of good fixtures and whatnot on it. Nice bone antler. This isn't standard rawhide. I don't know what the heck it is, but it's like beeswax impregnated, extra strong, cut on the diagonal something or other. I'll have to refer you to his website, which I'll put a link to at the bottom of this video in the annotation section. All this leather and fixings is really thick. Now I'm using the front-facing camera on this phone so I can see as I'm doing things. What I'll do in a second is I'll take this off of me and put it on the table with good lighting and flip it around to the other camera so we can get a better look. But unbelievable workmanship on this thing. He's still prototyping on it. You might probably going to perfect this a little bit more if he puts it on his website before he puts it on his website. But really impressed with the quality of this thing. This leather is so thick as to, I don't think it's ever going to wear out. I think archaeologists will dig this thing up thousands of years from now if the Lord don't return and look at it as an example of how we used to carry our axes. I mean, this thing is just not going away. And it's all really high quality leather that's impregnated with beeswax, and I don't know what else he did with it. Linen strings, also beeswax. It's just really a good, solid, high quality sheath. Anyway, I just wanted to throw this up there. I've been looking at this as a primary survival tool and as an option to carrying a regular hunting knife. Most hunting knives, you know, to get something that's decent, you know, that can actually make shelter with, you're talking 5 or 6 inches, and getting that through other countries can be a pain. Usually over 3 inches is a problem, whereas this, it fits the requirements for most countries. It is more than serviceable for most of the things you'd use a hunting knife for. It probably isn't as good as the intricate stuff like carving small parts for your traps as the tip of like a good drop blade or drop point blade would be. But you can skin an animal with this with no problem. You can do a lot of intricate carving with this with no problem. And you can definitely go get some firewood and put a shelter over you, which is a real big issue. As we know that the first things you look at when in a survival situation is hypothermia or hyperthermia that can happen within a few hours. And then after that, it's a matter of getting water purified. And if you can get a fire started, you can boil water. And this looks like it'll do that. It'll get plenty of firewood to make that happen. And this is a mild carbon steel, so you can go ahead and use this to strike sparks against a piece of flint or a piece of hard quartz, because the iron will definitely oxidize, as you can probably see if you're looking at this. I didn't polish this long ago, and it's already got a little rust in the blade. It oxidizes quickly. So it's a high carbon steel. It will rust, but it gets a very sharp edge and it'll strike a spark. Anyway, enough of that for now until I get the intricacies of camera work done. I am indoors. I try to shoot my stuff indoors rather than in a backdrop outside, because I still have issues with taking video outside and not having wind noise mess with the camera. So anyway, one more look at this, and let me see if I can switch this thing around real quick. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so I'll take this thing one more time and get some better light on it. Here we go. Get it right up under the light so we get a good view of it. There we go. And hopefully this does it justice. So there we go. We get the flap, the bone, the antler. Let's see. I'm just trying to find the right spot. I got horrible lighting. I just haven't set up my backdrop and sheet and all. Here we go. I think that looks okay. So here we go. We got the nice antler buttons. Heavy leather. Right. All reinforced attachment points. And there's the hawk inside there. And you can see how this flap comes down and holds the blade in. So there you go. With or without the handle. So anyway, he does brilliant work. It's hard to do it justice, but hopefully these close-ups will give you an idea of the quality. But man, it is amazing. Just opening the package and the smell of that beeswax impregnated leather was pretty impressive. So anyway, there you go. So until I get better grip on the camera, this will have to be it for now. Back at you later.